Last night, the Sacramento Kings lost to the Miami Heat 110 to 121 in Sacramento. This doesn't sound great in itself, considering how the Heat have looked over the course of this season, but it gets worse when given context. Miami was playing without Jimmy Butler, Tyler Herro, Terry Rozier, and Josh Richardson. Now, over the last few weeks, the Kings have lost to the disparaged Heat and the Detroit Pistons, but also beaten the Clippers once and the Nuggets twice. They can go toe-to-toe with and even sometimes embarrass the upper tier of contenders, but also lose to atrocious opponents. They beat who they shouldn't and lose to teams they shouldn't. Domantas Sabonis is playing some of the best basketball of his entire career, is somewhere from 6th to 10th in the MVP race, and just picks it up against better teams. De'Aaron Fox has also been much better in February after having a sluggish month or two before it. Keegan Murray has been awful this month in stark contrast to Sabonis and Fox, but did have a solid game against the Heat despite the loss. Kings fans will be quick to tell you that their record was better at the All-Star break this year than it was last season. However, it feels much more bleak. A bad week and the Kings could find themselves in 8th place in the West or worse, compared to the 3rd seed they were last year. The West is better than last year and it's not really close, which makes the Kings' up and down play even more concerning. It's extremely hard to get a read on this team 50 games into the season, which is not a great sign. The Sacramento Kings are the most confusing team in the NBA. Now let's take a deeper look. Before we get into Sacramento's struggles against some of the worst teams in the league, if you enjoy my content and watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watched it before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. When news broke that multiple Miami Heat players, including their star Jimmy Butler, would be absent for Monday's game against the Kings, Sacramento fans collectively shared a single reaction. Blowout loss incoming, double-digit defeat on the horizon, and we are so losing this game. What started as a playful meme on social media has morphed into a troublesome reality for Sacramento. 4 months into the 2024 NBA season, the Kings have gained a reputation for faltering against undermanned or sub-500 teams. Conversely, they've displayed prowess against formidable opponents, such as the Western Conference leading Minnesota Timberwolves, defending NBA champs Denver Nuggets, and most recently the LA Clippers. It's exasperating, it's confounding, it doesn't make sense. Yet Kings coach Mike Brown refuses to classify it as a trend, attributing Monday's 121 to 110 loss to the basics of the game. I mean, Paul George didn't play last night, Brown said when asked if he sees a trend with these losses. We've played against other teams where their top 1 or 2 guys didn't play, and we've won games. The reality of it is there were some opportunities for us to box out and we didn't hit somebody. There were some opportunities early on to where I felt we could have contested better. We didn't quite get the shooters. To me, more than anything else, that's where the trend is. Brown may deny the narrative surrounding his team, but the play on the court suggests a different picture. When Sacramento suffered consecutive losses to the Houston Rockets at the start of the season, it seemed things couldn't plummet further. Yet in retrospect, it's evident how misguided that feeling was. Let's revisit some unsettling outcomes. On December 20th, the Kings were trounced by a Jason Tatum-less Boston Celtics team, 144 to 119. 3 days later, they succumbed to a Minnesota Timberwolves squad, missing Karl Anthony Towns. Although Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, and Jaden McDaniels combined for 75 points, the loss did raise some eyebrows. The apprehension deepened on December 26th in Portland, when the Trailblazers embarrassed the Kings without starting guard Shaedon Sharpe or starting center DeAndre Ayton. The woes continued after that, though. The struggling Charlotte Hornets halted their 11-game losing streak against none other than the Kings, securing a 111 to 104 upset on January 2nd in front of Sacramento's home crowd. The Pelicans defeated Sacramento without Zion Williamson. The Sixers beat them without Joel Embiid, and the Indiana Pacers prevailed against Sacramento without Tyrese Halliburton. Kings star point guard De'Aaron Fox doesn't dwell on whether the losses form a pattern. Instead, he prefers to analyze each loss individually, pinpointing the team's errors in those specific games. Additionally, Fox acknowledges the Miami Heat's resilience in battling despite missing key players. "I mean, we have to play better," Fox said post-game. "We have to be able to get stops. Obviously, there were times when we got it down to 4, 6, 8 points, and then they make a shot at the shot clock. But we gotta be better. It's not like they didn't come here and play well." That's true, but it doesn't really capture the events of Monday night, or the recurring issues plaguing the Kings this season. Heading into the game positioned as the West's 5th seed, the defeat Monday demoted them to 7th. While occasional setbacks are inevitable for any NBA team, the Kings' peculiar struggles against specific opponents are completely unmistakable. Initially dismissed as a minor issue, the approaching month of March and intensifying playoff race highlight the urgency of addressing these concerns. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.